Okay, everyone, you're now being recorded.
Be on your best behavior.
Yeah, so I don't know if everybody knows each other, so maybe do we want to do a quick round of introductions? Okay, Allison, do you want to go first?
I would love to. I'm Allison Smith. I'm with Johnson County Park and Recreation District, and I am the wellness coordinator and also the co-chair for this working sector. And I'm gonna popcorn on over to Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen Jett. I'm the Superintendent of Community Services for KC Parks, and I am the other co-lead for this sector. And I'm going to popcorn to Renee.
Thank you. I'm Renee Nagel, now Renee Jenkins. I am with the City of Merriam, and I am the Recreation Manager. I'll pop it to Heath.
I'm Heath Harris. I'm the Longview Community Center Manager here in Lee's Summit. And I will popcorn over to Brooke.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me today. I am Brooke Chestnut. I'm the Superintendent of Park Operations for the City of Lee's Summit. And I will send it over to Blake.
Hello, my name is Blake Hensley. I'm with the Unified Government of Wyandotte County Public Health Department. I work with our Community Health Improvement Plan, and I've also worked with our Infrastructure Action Team that's been in the county. I'll popcorn over to Natalie.
Hi, I'm Natalie Updike. I'm on the Kansas City Healthy Lifestyles Collaborative Team, and I support the Kansas City Physical Activity Plan. Who has yet to go?
You want to do Robin or Patrick?
Sure. Robin.
Hi, I'm Robin Shook. I'm the director of the Kansas City Healthy Lifestyles Collaborative at Children's Mercy. And I'll popcorn it to Patrick since he turned on his camera.
Hi, my name is Patrick Truba. I work at Mid-America Regional Council as their active transportation planner. Shelley? Or Nicole.
She may be dealing with her
Emergency, yeah.
Yeah.
Nicole?
Nicole was having sound issues, it said.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Nicole Brown is with the Johnson County Department of Health and Environment, and she's an amazing person. If you have not met her yet, please do.
Well, I got my sound back just in time for that. Thank you.
Oh, yay.
I don't know what that was about. It's not like I haven't been Zooming for 3 years. I just restarted my computer and then it was fine.
Just the old turn it off and turn it on again. All right, I think that's everyone. And then for those of you that don't know Shelley, Shelley is also with Children's Mercy, and her and Robin do similar things that are amazing and awesome.
Okay, I think that is everybody. And if you don't know me, I'm Katie Amy. So I help support, I'm with Robin, Natalie, and Shelley, and I help support the Kansas City Physical Activity Plan as well. And I specifically support the park sector. So moving forward, was it last month or maybe the month before, we had this really great conversation around trails. And so this month we kind of wanted to bring it back and focus on that and kind of see what everyone's up to. If you have like new trails being built, Alice, I'm gonna let you take this over from here.
So I will touch on a little bit of the J.C. Purdy trails. J.C. Purdy has our first ever trail manager position. So this is a paid position that is funded, and they oversee the volunteer groups that help manage and maintain our trails. And so they are growing and just really moving and grooving. They've added more mountain bike trails. They've added more paved trails. Each year on our CIP project list, they always have different trails that they're going to add and that they're improving on. And I've got some programs that we're now doing on a lot of these new trails that have been developed just over the last year. We have added some bike programs as well that has been really popular. We've also added some adventure races. So we have 2 adventure races that we do that utilize the trails. And then the more advanced people will go spelunking and go off into the woods, off the trails. And we'll go and find different checkpoints throughout the course. And I will put links to both of those adventure races in the chat box. If you guys do want to learn more about any of the adventure races, please let me know. And then I'm also going to put a link in the chat box for some of our bike programs that we're doing over here that are involving a lot of our new trails. And then also a link for our hiking and biking trails maps. So do you guys have any trail programs that you were doing over at your sites or new summer programs that are happening?
I can kind of touch on what we do over here in Lee Summit. So we do an annual 5K. It's called Night Flight. So it actually takes place in the evening time with like glow bracelets and glow necklaces. And we hold that event out at our amphitheater in Legacy Park. And Legacy Park is 700 acres, I believe, and it has a 5-mile trail that goes around the whole thing. And so we kind of cut halfway through to make the 3-mile 5K. But yeah, we host that event every year in the spring. And we usually get about 100, 120 participants every year who take part in that. And we do the official timing and everything with that. And then we have like a little party afterwards. So they'll have snacks and yard games and fire pits and s'mores and everything like that. So that's a successful event that we have every year. This isn't a program that we offer anymore. Just I think with COVID kind of shut it down and we just haven't brought it back yet. We used to do a trick-a-bike program for kids. They could bring their own bicycle and they can decorate their bicycle almost kind of like a Valentine's box. You can form it into whatever you want it to look like. And then you would ride your bike around the trail. And parents could bring their bikes to ride with them. But we would do like best decorated bike and then like do placings and stuff like that. But it was more of a fun event for kids. And we used to do that at the same location out at Legacy Park. Another program that is starting this spring is a walking book club that we are starting this spring. And we've actually partnered, I believe, with Mid-Continental Library for them to provide books. And it's actually going to be a free program that we're going to offer. So where people can sign up, read a chapter a week or read a couple chapters every week, and then meet back once a week and walk on a trail. I'm not sure exactly which trail they'll be on. Maybe they might go between all of our parks too. But just get out, walk together, socialize together, and just kind of target maybe individuals, patrons that may not want to work out in a facility, but just want that social aspect of walking together and having that mutual interest in reading. Then last thing that we offer, it's not really a program, but I feel like we were kind of ahead of the game on this one. Outdoor fitness equipment. We placed that around one of our trails around our Gamber Community Center. Now that trail I think is only like a quarter of a mile. It's not very long. But we probably have, I would say 8 to 10 fitness pieces that are lining that trail for individuals to use when they walk around that trail. And that building, I believe, is like 10 or 15 years old. So that was put in when that building was made. And so now since COVID, outdoor fitness equipment is booming. Everybody wants to work out outside. And so that's always been kind of an idea that comes to mind whenever we build new trails, especially around facilities, that could be a potential option moving forward.
Heath, do you want to talk about our bike share program?
Yes. So we do have free bike reservations. I think I mentioned this last month, but didn't really get into too much detail on it. But Lovell Community Center and Longview Community Center, our 2 largest community centers, have a free reservation program that allows members and non-members to stop by and reserve bikes at our facilities. And we have a couple electric bike options, and recently we received a grant and they're available now to use. We have 3-wheel bikes for individuals who may not know how to ride a two-wheeled bike, or someone who may have just a stability problem, they could use those bikes, and so it's more inclusive for individuals in the community.
I have a couple of questions for Heath. Do you have links for your night flight 5K or for anything else that you're doing? I'd love to take a look at it.
Yeah. I'll go on our website and drop a link for the night flight. The
Okay.
book club, I don't know if it's posted yet. I think that's something that we've never had it before. So we're starting it up late spring or early summer. So
Yeah, the book club, we actually work with
Oh, okay.
Johnson County Library for
Yeah.
their walk and read. We do that. And the Trick a Bike, what supplies, do you provide the supplies or do they bring their own?
So they bring their own supplies. So we will like print off, I guess, if I remember right, it's been a while since we've done it. We would bring like food and activities for them to eat and play after the event, but they would bring all the supplies in and decorate their bikes before coming to the event. So their bikes would come pre-decorated.
Oh, got it. So they're not decorating it there.
Right.
Okay. There was the outdoor fitness equipment, who maintains that?
So that is through the facility. So like I said, it was at Gamber Community Center. So we have a maintenance specialist on staff over there. And so they go out weekly and test the equipment, make sure if there needs to any moving parts. Some of them have moving parts, some don't. And so they test to make sure they work, and any grease, any joints that need to be lubricated. But the facility itself maintains those part pieces. And then if there any maintenance needs to be done or parts need to be ordered, they go through our vendor for that.
So if there's any type of vandalism, is that the building that takes care of it?
Right.
Got it. Okay.
Now, Heath, for your outdoor fitness area, do you guys have like lights? Is it lighted at night?
The trail has lights on one around it at Gamber, but not specifically like over those pieces.
Okay.
I know we have an outdoor fitness court at one of our parks that's recently was renovated. I could not tell you if there's lights over that or not.
Okay.
Brooke might know. I can't know. I don't remember.
There are not lights over that fitness component. It's not very far from the parking lot, which is lit, but we don't put lights over the actual equipment.
Okay.
Okay.
I know that's been like a huge topic for like park safety, is whether these areas are lit or not. And so I didn't know if you guys had faced problems with that for any of your trails.
So every once in a while, I'll get the request for lit trails, but it doesn't really seem to be that big of a demand for our community, honestly.
good.
We haven't seen that either.
Yeah, we haven't either. I just know typically if people do want to be out on the trails when it's dark, they've got their headlamp or their flashlight.
Right.
But I know that we try and discourage people from being out there too early or too late, just in case they get lost. And then
Yeah, just for safety alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, then our park police end up finding them along the trails at whatever odd hour and guide them
Yeah.
back to the parking lot.
Yeah, Heath, if you could drop that night flight, that'd be great, please.
Yes,
Thank you.
I'm getting the link here now.
We just did a big trail cleanup with our green team. And they kind of met at opposite ends of the Turkey Creek Trail and worked their way in. And when they met each other, they were done. But they picked up quite a bit of trash. We've also partnered with someone not related to trash, but kind of green with Trex. I don't know if any of you are familiar with, if you collect 500 pounds of plastic, they will provide you with a bench. We're on our second bench with them. We're a drop-off location for all of, obviously, the city of Marion, but we're working with a couple of the other elementary schools. And we get plastic dropped here constantly. Has to already be cleaned out and has to be a certain kind of plastic. And there's specific drop-off locations where we drop it off once we reach the 500 pounds. And then Trex takes it and we pick the color of the bench and then our facilities people will install it for us.
That sounds like a good program right there.
Yeah, it's super cool.
We're working on a plan for the Brush Creek Trail. It's the Brush Creek Cultural Heritage Trail Project. I'll put a link in the chat. And basically, like, we're looking for input. The section of the trail that's going to be focused on runs from the Brush Creek Community Center. So this is on MLK Boulevard and Emmanuel Cleaver Boulevard, all the way down to the Paseo. And essentially, what the plan is to add some plazas kind of featuring art and some interpretive signs about the American Civil Rights Movement and the Black experience in Kansas City. So that area is very historical. And so we're currently working on that. There's a public meeting coming up on May 9th if anybody's interested in participating, has any ideas.
That's awesome, Jen. Thank you.
That's super cool. I've always thought like that is like a hidden gem in kind of the Midtown area. So love to see
Yeah,
it
definitely.
being kind of revitalized a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually a couple plans going on that just involve the Brush Creek Trail. We're also somewhat related, working on our strategic plan for Bruce R. Watkins Cultural Heritage Center. So that's basically across the street from where this project starts. So it's kind of all tied into Brush Creek.
Has anyone done any walk with the dock programs out on their trails, or have they kind of kept those in different parks or loops? I think our wind out person left. Shelley, yes?
Yes, we have 2 walks. One that's actively going on in Wyandotte County. That's on the first Saturday of the month from 9 to 10 in Pearson Park. And we're getting ready to start a second location not too far from the hospital, Adele Hall campus. It's at a park called Harris Park, which, as Jen knows, is not part of the Kansas City, Missouri Parks and Recreation System. It's a separate, I guess, I don't know what you would call it, Jen, but standalone park. But Chris Harris is interested in additional programming out there. And so we're going to begin hosting a walk there. It'll be weekly for about a month to learn more about how that community would like to participate in ongoing walks. So we hope to have that as our second location starting soon. And then, of course, we've talked to Nicole, who I think just put something in the chat about how we've done ours, and hope that there's another walk starting in Johnson County sometime soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Shelley. Anyone else have any other cool trail programs that they're doing?
I guess it wasn't last month. I think it was still the month before that. We talked about mountain bike trails too. And if anybody had any mountain bike trails, because I know that that's been something, at least like among individuals I hang out with, we're really interested in participating in, being more engaged with, like, not just biking them, but also using them as like it's like, I'm using the term wrong, but off-street hiking trails, I guess. Does anybody do anything like around mountain bike trails?
I know Brooke may be able to touch on this a little bit more, but I know, like we talked about, the Urban Trail Company who did off-road trails. Like I said, Brooke may be able to give more detail on that than I might.
Yeah, so we partnered with the Urban Trail Company in 2019 to install single track mountain bike trails out here at Legacy Park. And so far we have 3 miles cut through the park. It's definitely single track, all terrain, dirt trail. the Urban Trail Company, they maintain it, they cut the trail in for us. It's really been a great partnership for us. We advertise the trail and it's an amenity that gets used all the time. And they eventually want to have 5 miles, but as of right now, they only have 3 completed.
So Brooke, for some groups that are wanting to start a partnership with Urban Trail Co., how did you guys go about that? Did they approach you or?
So our administrator is a very avid mountain biker. And he met them at some event and started the discussions with them. But I know that I don't think anybody said they were from Jackson County, but I know Jackson County Parks and Rec partners with them as well, that they have some trails that they've done in their parks.
Nice.
So they're pretty open to it if other municipalities want to reach out.
And then
There's their website.
Yep, I just popped it in. I know that our guys work with them. So they actually post, if you guys click on that link, they actually post all of the trail conditions as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so this has been a great resource for us just to share with folks. Because I know we have a lot of outdoor users. And so even on our social media, we will link to some of these pages as well too.
And they provide the signage for the trail and the directional signage and everything. Of course, we got to approve it, but it's really been a fantastic partnership. They do a pretty good job of maintaining it. We help out with staff some, but it's really primarily done by them.
Any idea how we can get our trails listed on here?
Your bike trails?
Yeah,
I would contact Urban Trail Company and see, because they're very passionate about building up the network of bike trails in the metro. So I'm sure they'd be willing.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, and Renee, I know on their website, they've got who we are, and they also have a contact button as well.
Okay, I'll try that way.
Yeah, so if you mention that you're with a local park and rec agency, that might help. Patrick, I see your hand raised.
You could also, sorry.
Oh.
I was going to say, you could also shoot me an email if you want. And I can put you in contact with the 2 gentlemen that we work with through the Urban
Okay.
Trail Company. Yeah,
Okay.
it's just my name at cityofls.net.
Thanks, Brooke.
Is it your full name, both first and last spelled
It's-
out?
Yes, it's Brooke.Chestnut, sorry, at cityofls, as in leesummit.net.
Okay, thank you.
I just wanted to ask everybody quick, if you're building trails and that are pretty new, if I could ask you to check our regional trails and bikeways map. I just put the link in the chat there. I try to keep that map as up to date as possible. I think I have most, if not all, of the trails you've been talking about today. But yeah, just anytime you build something, or if you know you've built something recently, please check that. And I'd love to get it on there if it's not already on there.
And then Patrick, for these trails, do you work with certain people to get all this information, or is there anyone that you primarily go to?
It's a variety of people, like per jurisdiction. Like Johnson County has a pretty good data layer, although I put on a number of things on there just because I'm spotting it in imagery, whether it's bike lanes or shared use paths or anything like that. For something like trails, it's sometimes hard to spot in imagery unless it's a really wide, like 10-foot shared use path. So yeah, I just wanted, I could always use more people looking it over and making sure it's up to date.
Okay. And if we ever, like from our agencies, if we do ever get new trails developed, should we just contact you to help get that information out there on your website?
I don't know about our website. We don't really promote trails or new facilities on our website, but just getting on the map is great, because every couple of years we print the map and we distribute that all over the region, and it's really popular. So yeah, that's kind of the driver of me wanting to keep this as up to date as possible.
Cool. Yeah, and I'm not thinking about just promoting new stuff, but just to keep your map as accurate as possible, just to see the growth.
Mm-hmm.
And Patrick, I do have another question for you, since I know you update these maps. Have you seen an influx in trails recently since COVID, or?
Since COVID, I mean, not in particular. I've only been managing the map for about a year and a few months. What I've seen more of an influx of is sort of side path style shared use paths, by which I mean like shared use paths on the side of a roadway that function the same as a shared use path for a trail might, allows cyclists and pedestrians and everybody in between. There's been a little bit of confusion on my end about what constitutes a shared use path, because we had been mapping ones that were 8 feet or wider for a while. That had been our sort of informal internal standard, but we've since revised that to like, we'll map anything 10 feet and wider, or down to 8 feet if a jurisdiction can confirm that, yes, that is indeed a shared use path. But it can get a little confusing below 10 feet. So I've seen a lot of those. I've seen sort of this influx, and I think this kind of happens along with street resurfacings there's this kind of configuration of like a shared use path plus a couple bike lanes along a rebuilt roadway. I've been seeing that a lot lately. And then of course, Kansas City, Missouri has been building a lot of protected bike lanes. So they've got the most in that area. Although Olathe has 1/3 of a mile of protected bike lanes in their downtown.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. But I guess as for trails and independent rights of way, the ones you might be talking about more, I haven't seen like an influx of those. We found some that we were missing up till now, several mountain bike trails that we had been missing that we knew from Urban Trail Co. And so we've been trying to get those in. But yeah, not a huge influx of like trails.
Cool.
Mhm.
Thank you, Patrick.
Sure.
That is a really cool website. I know the Art Trail guy couldn't be here today. He just got back from a trail building conference. And I can't even think of what state they were in now. But they had a great time there and learned a whole bunch of things. And so they are bringing back more tools and equipment for the staff to start use to working on those single track mountain bike trails. So over in Lee Summit, Brooke, are you guys starting to really boom with those mountain bike trails?
So far, we only have the 3 miles out here at Legacy with another 2 miles planned, and it gets used a lot, but we don't have anywhere else that we're currently planning on putting them.
Okay.
As far as in any of our other parks, because Legacy, like Keith said, is our 700-acre park, so it's our biggest park in our system.
That's awesome. And then does anyone contract out with any of these vendors who are doing these bike programs out in the parks and on the mountain bikes?
We do them all internally. All the
Internally?
programming. Yeah, the bike programs internally.
Okay. We contract out with a lot of vendors. If it's something that we can't provide in staff, we'll contract out and work with them. One of the new ones that we've been working with is Buddy Pigs. They're based out of Arkansas. And they're offering a mountain bike club. And then there's also a new one that has been hosting programs in the area, but kind of off the grid, I guess. Ride Like a Ninja. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's heard of it. I've been out to their website and they've got some really cool things going on. They'll go out and host one-off special events in parks and fill out the special event permit. But Katie, you're right. Mountain biking programs are really growing and we're seeing those trending a lot more now. And yeah, we have a lot of staff who love to go mountain biking, but we can't pay one of our parks guys to go out and teach a mountain bike class. It'll have to actually be a hired instructor.
Yeah, Allison, you mentioned budding pegs. I know we have another rec supervisor who oversees our instructional programs, and he's mentioned that program before. So we may have a program through them. That was last summer. I don't know what we have upcoming this summer, but that name does ring a bell in a rec staff meeting I've been in.
Yeah, we did actually have a program with them, and I think it's going to continue.
Okay.
They operated out here at Legacy. Actually, I'd forgotten about it until you said Buddy Pegs,
too.
Allison.
Yeah, they're pretty cool guys. We've talked with them as well. And that actually kind of segues me into grant dollars. I don't know if we want to talk about that at all. Katie just turned off her screen. Jen, did you want to touch base on the grant dollars program?
Sure. We're talking about the implementation plans?
Yep.
Okay. So I think our next deadline is coming up in June, if I'm correct. I think we decided that we're gonna go to review them every other month. And basically, we're looking for any kind of programs that support the objectives of the Kansas City Physical Activity Plan. We'll review, or Alice and I will be the ones that you'll submit these applications to. We can send those applications out after this meeting. And basically, we will review those and bring them to the larger KCPA work group for review. And then those requests will either be funded or not funded. We've received, I believe, one official Parks and Rec sector application. I think we might have a couple more coming down the road. I know I've got some groups that are interested in applying for the grant. I don't know if you do, Allison, but just looking at that link that Allison put into the chat, you can see what objectives we're looking to support. And then there's, excuse me, also the other sectors are looking at their own implementation grants. And we're really looking to support cross-sector collaboration with these grants as well. So working with other entities such as schools or libraries, sports, that would be a really good integration as well. So I think I covered pretty much everything. I don't know if I forgot anything. But please send those to us. You can send them to Allison and myself. I'm taking the Missouri side ones and Allison is taking the Kansas side ones. And then we are reviewing them and bringing them forth to the main group for review. And I forget, because I was talking to someone about this the other day, is there a maximum amount of funds we're giving per application?
No, not really. No. Robin shook his head no.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, from the KCPA plan perspective, no. But it can be up to, I guess, kind of the group's discretion, meaning this group and Allison and Jen, you know, as co-leads to say, you know, like, hey, we could fund, you know, one really big $12,000 project, but we think it would be better to fund several smaller ones. That's a decision that you guys can.
Sure.
And keep in mind, we are doing ongoing tracking. So there has been one Park and Rec application that's been approved. We're not entirely sure the final funding amount for that, but $2,000 was requested. So that means that the total amount available left for the sector is now $10,000. Another reason to encourage cross-sector partnerships. Other
Right.
sectors may have funds available too.
Hey, Katie,
Yeah,
I clicked on the link for your buddy pegs and I see that there's quite a bit in Johnson County. So is it them that run that program or do they partner with the local Parks and Rec? How does that work?
so they run their own program and they partner with different organizations. So Alice can probably speak more to it, but like Corporate Challenge Kickoff, the Family Fun Fantastic Zone, we had them there. So they partnered with us to kind of put on a safety course for kids. I know they partner with schools too. Allison, do you know who to contact there to kind of get more involved?
Yeah, we have Scott Fitzgerald is our contact over there. He's one of the co-founders of Buddy Pigs and their program. So we contract out with them and we will book spaces in our parks and shelter houses. And so that way they have camps, and then we take registrations for those as well. For some of the sites, we allow them to take registrations just because we're still updating our contractual agreement contracts. But for 2024, it's only going to be us that'll be taking registration, just so we can control that a little bit better. But with it
And then how
starting
does that
out,
work? How does that work as far as a revenue share?
we do a 70-30 split. And so they get 70, we get 30%. And then if they take registration on their side, they keep 100% of that.
So the ones that I see in Olathe, is that Olathe Parks and Rec, or are they all the Johnson County ones, you guys?
It varies. It depends on what park it's at.
Okay,
So there's a ton to list, which they offered a lot this year, which that's something that we kind of offer our vendors is we allow them to offer as much as they want with the understanding that not everything will make.
right,
But they also are trying to fit that category for those neighborhoods where transportation might be an issue.
okay,
And parents might have a hard time getting their kid and the bike to camp. So they're trying to allow that family to be able to walk to that campsite. Maybe the kid can ride their bike to and from camp.
okay.
Because we've noticed that transportation has been a big issue with some of these specialty camps where bikes are involved.
Got it. Thanks for the contact, Natalie.
Making sure I didn't miss a message. Okay, so the implementation projects were brought up because we did have a proposal we were going to review today, but we're actually waiting for an updated version. So this is a collaboration between the school sector and the park sector. So we're just gonna wait on that, and then I'll provide more detail maybe at our next meeting, and hopefully we'll have an updated version then. I did put the document for the application in the chat. If anyone is interested, I'll also go ahead and email it after this meeting to anybody who would like to apply. And on that note, we were really just going to go ahead and do group updates. If anybody had anything that they wanted, an event they wanted to share, something they wanted the entire group to know, or just to include maybe in one of our newsletters, an event that's going on. So I will open the floor to anybody.
Yeah, Katie, before we do that, I just can I have Brooke just kind of touch on a little bit on our trail systems here. I know her and I kind of talked previously before this about just sharing kind of what our trail system here in Lee Summit is.
Yeah, I would love that.
Sure. Just a quick overview. We already kind of talked about our partnership with the Urban Trail Company, so I won't talk anymore about that, but we are a very trail passionate community. Every time we survey our community, the number one thing people say is that they want more trails. We actually already have 92 miles of trails in the city of Lee Summit, and 70% of our community lives within a 10-minute walk of a park. So we have quite a few trails, but they want more. And we have a Greenway master plan that the ultimate goal is to have all of our parks connected by a walkable greenway. So we're actively working towards that. And we also in Lee Summit have a park called Hartman Park that is a trailhead for the Rock Island Corridor Trail, which is everybody familiar with the Rock Island Corridor Trail? No? Okay.
No, tell me more.
So the Rock Island is an aggregate-based trail that goes through an old railway corridor. And ultimately, we hope someday that it connects to the Katy Trail, but it, as of right now, goes all the way up to near the stadiums. And then it goes all the way down to Greenwood.
Yeah, I think it stops like just at Greenwood.
Yeah.
There's
So-
two parts to it. It goes from the stadiums to Greenwood, and then
Thank
it keeps
you.
going from, like, there's a big gap at Greenwood, and then it goes from Pleasant Hill to, I don't know, somewhere. County
Windsor.
line.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a really nice trailhead in one of our parks that connects our greenway to that particular trail. So we are pretty trail passionate in Lee Summit. And I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. I wasn't entirely sure what all Heath wanted me to talk about.
I just asked her, come on here and talk about trails.
Yeah, that's what he said. And I said, okay, I can talk about trails.
Heath, thank you so much for having Brooke come. That really does
Yeah.
help so much. We really appreciate that.
Of course.
And then for the updates, as what Katie was mentioning, so this is a great chance for some free marketing. I know in Parks and Rec, we sometimes struggle with marketing and hitting the same people. I know Renee's smiling over there. So this is a great opportunity to hit other people outside of your network, to kind of brag about what's happening in your community and just sharing what's going on. I know we've loved putting upcoming events in there as well. So for our kids triathlon that we host in August, that's coming up. We've actually gotten kids from like multiple states coming over for this event. And whether it be someone from the Children's Mercy newsletter or something else, we've had some great connections there. So if you guys do have any of those special events, please, please, please share those. And I know Renee, you just posted about the Turkey Creek Festival. Oh, you're muted. Renee, you're still muted.
Now I'm busy copying links. We're finally doing goat yoga.
Awesome.
I'm super excited. And then we've got a comedy tour coming. I'm gonna put that in the chat too.
Awesome. Yeah, dude, that's fantastic.
It's a
Something new.
goat comedy tour.
No, yeah, that'd be fun. So we'll have, it's actually, you know, because I love to cram a bunch of stuff into one weekend, so I at least can have a weekend of free time. So when I have events, I have a tendency to just cram it all into like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Friday night is our comedy tour. Saturday will be our Turkey Creek 5K and Turkey Creek Festival, which will be the biggest event that we do all year. It is actually at a JCPRD park. So thank you, Allison. We have a partnership with them that we use Antioch Park while Antioch Park is in Miriam. It is operated by JCPRD. So we take over that park for the majority on Friday and all day on Saturday and have our festival there. And then on Sunday, we're doing goat yoga. So we will have a busy weekend, but then the following weekend, I get to go to the lake. So I cram it all into one so I could at least have a free weekend a month.
There you go, Renee. Nice. We have our Heritage Park 5K coming up next weekend. And it's actually the HP3 because there are 3 different distances. You can do a 5K, 10K, 15K, whatever your heart
Dang.
desires. Yeah. A lot of folks use this as kind of a training for whatever long distance race they're doing. Shelly, you're raising your eyebrows. So we have our 15K distance is actually really popular for that race, surprisingly. But this event continues to grow every year. We also have Girls on the Run and Let Me Run come out, and they have teams that will come out and do this event. So if you guys do have any volunteers, we're always looking for that. And then Katie, I will post that race event in the chat.
We're looking for volunteers for our festival for May 20th as well, for both the festival and the run. And we'll feed you and give you a t-shirt.
What are you serving?
You get to choose from 14 different food trucks.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What am I
So
doing?
you're like Mike Disney and Craig Schaefer are all over this.
Yeah, they
When
are.
we do this at your park.
And of course, they don't tell anyone else about it.
Yeah, there you go. They work hard for us that day, man. I could not do this without them.
They
So I'm
do.
happy to provide them with lunch that day. It's the least I could do.
I know
I'm
anytime.
sure-
Oh, go ahead, Heath.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, I'm sure many of you already know this, but you can always reach out to your schools about volunteers. The A+ program, they require volunteer hours. I
Yeah,
don't know
we
if you-
use through National Honor Society, we do have quite a bit of kids that come and help.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I know volunteer programs at the school districts are just now getting kids back out there, because we just had a group contact us, and they've got a ton of kids that need a ton of volunteer hours. So we're gonna have all of them at our races this summer.
And you
Well,
may,
that's good.
you may reach out to your Chamber of Commerce too. I know they have leadership programs, and they require volunteer hours for their leadership programs.
Good call, Heath. I like that. That's awesome. Anyone else have any cool, exciting programs for Dear Katie to include in the newsletter?
I put the link in there. Sorry.
go.
Go ahead, Heath.
I was just gonna say, I put the link in there already, but Night Flight is coming up at the end of, or beginning of June. So like I said, I touched base on that earlier, and then Tour de Lakes is our memorial bike ride we have at the end of June every year, and we usually have about 1,000 bikers here for that, and we have 10 32-mile, 56-mile, and then a 64-mile route on the Tour de Lakes.
Wow.
Could you post the link in that? And is it pretty flat or is it super hilly?
Depending on the course. I had to take a truck. I don't bike it. I'm not a cyclist. I had to take a truck on the 64-mile route to make sure everybody made it through, and that's pretty hilly.
Wow.
But yeah, I'll put a link in the chat for that.
Thanks, Heath.
I was gonna promote our Bike Month website at Mark, so May is Bike Month, and put that in the chat there. And we've got a really cool website for it that we're promoting through different media channels. It's got events, so if you have events that we haven't captured in that, please let us know and we can put those on there. It's also got different resources for cycling, like the map. I think there's some videos there too that Bike Walk KC has done. There's a couple bike stories. I think we're going to get more eventually. I think, let's see, yeah, May 1st, we'll have a blog post with people's bike stories on it. I think they're really cool. They're really fun to listen to. And this Bike Month is cool too, because we hired an illustrator to do some of the branding, and I think it turned out really fun and really good. So check that out and let me know if you have anything to add to it.
Nicole, are you and Jill doing anything crazy for Bike Month? Must be pretty wild. No, I know that the girls over the health department have been crushing it. We've sent them a lot of different bike programs that we've been doing as well over here, just to help promote bike programs. And then Bike Walk KC does have, I think we talked about this in the last meeting, they have some giveaways, some promos giveaway with bike lights. So I emailed Laura over there and she's gonna hook us up with some bike lights.
That's cool.
Yeah, so if you guys have a need for those at all, just let us know. We can get you connected with Laura over there, and then you'll just have to set up a time with her to go out and get those. I think Robin, you shared that at the last meeting, right?
Yeah, I think I can't remember where I shared it at, but yeah, they're super popular. They got pre-made little packages with a front light and a back light, and I had a pack of 12, and they were spoken for within like a week. Everyone loves them.
Bike lights are important, especially right now.
Mhm.
All right, well, I do want to be mindful of everyone's time. Katie, is that correct that our next meeting is May 24th at noon?
That is correct. And
Oh, sorry, go ahead. I got excited.
no, you go for it.
So as we were just talking about, May is Bike Month. And I know we kind of talked about bike programs here in the meeting as well. But if you guys have any safety bike programs or other bike programs that you're doing, our next meeting is going to be bike heavy. So please try and bring your coordinators and or folks that do bike programs to that meeting. And then Also, if you guys think of any other cool new programs that you might want funding for to get started to help support the implementation projects that Children's Mercy is doing for the Kansas City Physical Activity Plan, that would be awesome. So May 24th is our next virtual party at noon, and we can't wait to see everyone there.
Can't wait.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
You
See you
too.
later.